your continued dedications to the duties of law enforcement. This forum is not merely a routine gathering. It's a strategic opportunity to align our operations, reinforce our values, and renew our collective resolve. Let me begin by commending your resilience, strategic commanders, in the face of rising challenges. The sacrifices you make, often without fanfare, are the bedrock of public safety. I thank each of you for standing firm against forces that seek to destabilize our nation. It is your courage and integrity that build and sustain the confidence of our people in the Nigerian police force. Leadership in the force is not ceremonial. It is earned daily on the field, by decisions that save lives, by judgment under pressure, and by integrity under scrutiny. That is why we must meet regularly to recalibrate our strategy, realign our focus, and renew our commitment. As we assess our performance today, we must begin with an honest recognition of the fact that security landscape in Nigeria is changing and changing fast. Our adversaries are no longer bound by geography, ideology, or conventional tactics. The threats are multidimensional, armed, digital, ideological, and transnational. Our response must therefore be coordinated, intelligence-led, technology-enabled, and community-rooted. We must adapt, we must innovate, we must respond with agility, strategy, and unyielding commitment to the rule of law. Recent months have shown that when we act decisively and collectively, we can achieve substantial results. Between June and July 2025 alone, we recorded the arrest of 5,488 criminal suspects involved in offenses ranging from kidnapping and armed robbery to cultism and homicide. We recovered 316 firearms, 2,884 rounds of ammunition, and retrieved 216 stolen vehicles. Most importantly, we rescued 170 kidnapped victims, many from treacherous and hard-to-reach areas. Behind each of these numbers lies a story of courage. Permit me to share a detailed performance review that underlines our recent progress. A total of 5,448 criminal suspects were arrested across key offenses: kidnapping, armed robbery, cultism, homicide, cybercrime, trafficking, and violent assault. We recovered Permit me to share a detailed performance review that underlines our recent progress. I would like to spotlight a few operations for deeper context. In Kogi State, on 23rd June, operatives repelled a kidnap attempt on 3 commercial vehicles along the Obajana-Oshokosho axis, engaging the attackers in a sustained gun battle and rescuing 24 victims unhurt. Benue State, 8th July, operatives of the Force Intelligence Department Intelligence Response Team, acting on actionable intelligence, intercepted and arrested Abubakar Issa, age 25, along the Lafia-Makurdi Expressway. He was found in possession of 3 AK-47 rifles and 1,002 rounds of 7.62 mm live ammunition, intended for distribution to bandits in Benue State. In Benue State, between 10th and 17th July, operatives of the IRT stormed Abinsi town and successfully apprehended Jacob Atiku on 16 July 2025, recovering 3 AK-47 rifles and 220 rounds of live ammunition from his hideout. Further investigation led to the recovery of an additional 5 AK-47 rifles, 1 rocket launcher, and 1,000 rounds of live ammunition from the arms dealer. In Edo State, on 11th July, in the Fuga-Agenebode axis, A collaborative operation between the police and local security units dismantled the kidnap ring and rescued 14 kidnapped victims. In Taraba State, on 12th July, a white Toyota bus conveying 17 passengers from Enugu to Yola was ambushed near Wukari. A swift and decisive police response led to the successful rescue of all passengers. In Plateau State and Ogun State, operatives of the Ogun State Police Command arrested 2 suspects, Yunusa Abdullahi and Peace Danlami, in Plateau State. Both were directly connected to the murder of Mr. Cheng Wang, a Chinese national found dead in his office on 12 January 2025. Interpol coordination. On 17th June, our NCB rescued 46 trafficked Ghanaians and arrested 7 human trafficking suspects following a complaint from Interpol NCB Accra. Jigawa State. On 13th June, a multi-agency raid led to the arrest of cybercrime syndicate in Birni Kudu with 46,100 counterfeit United States dollars, 4 POS machines, 29 phones, and dozens of fraud-related service devices recovered. These are spotlights from numerous operational wins that reflect intelligence synergy, interagency cooperation, tactical innovation, and shared grit. I commend all involved, but I must remind you, this is only the beginning. Let me emphasize the need for every command to publicize credible operational results. The public deserves to know that their police are working and working smart. This is not vanity, it is strategic confidence building. We must reclaim our narrative from misinformation and public cynicism. And that begins with visibility, transparency, and performance. One area I remain deeply committed to is the welfare of our retired officers under the Contributory Pension Scheme, CPS. Their post-service condition is heartbreaking and morally unacceptable. Today, most retired officers of the Nigerian Police Force live in conditions that are not only unacceptable, but humiliating, given the sacrifices they made in service to the nation. Their monthly pension under the CPS is abysmally low and grossly inadequate to meet even the most basic needs. Many can no longer afford health care, housing, or life of dignity. This has turned retirement into a period of hardship and regret, eroding the confidence of serving officers who now see their own future with fear rather than hope. The consequences of this reality are far-reaching. Among serving officers, there exists a growing and deep-rooted anxiety, born from the belief, rightly or wrongly, that retirement is a descent into hardship. This fear has become so pervasive that it is having a noticeable demoralizing effect on morale across the ranks. Attempts made to educate them on the operation of the contributive pension scheme have been taken as attempts to keep them in perpetual bondage of the CPS. Retirement, which should be a time of deserved rest and honor, has become a looming nightmare for many. In response to this growing crisis, the leadership of the force has, in good faith, initiated steps to explore alternative sources of funding aimed at augmenting the pension earning of our retired officers. Regrettably, these efforts have been misconstrued as an attempt to obstruct or derail the movement towards exiting the scheme. Let me state unequivocally that the position of the force remains consistent with the desires of our personnel, both serving and retired. This position was clearly articulated in our presentation to the National Assembly during the public hearing on the bill to exit the police from the contributory pension scheme. This stance was further reinforced in my recent letter to the National Assembly. While the agitation for our exit from the contributory pension scheme is just and deeply rooted in lived realities, it is imperative that our actions are guided by prudence, strategy, and foresight. The leadership of the force, under my watch, is fully aware of the matter and is engaging at the highest level of government and the National Assembly. These engagements have not been in vain. We are witnessing a growing recognition of the plight of our retired officers, and already critical conversations are yielding actionable commitments. Let me state clearly, this is not a moment for impulsive action. It's a moment for strategic patience. The complexities of pension reform demand careful negotiation, and we are making tangible progress towards a resolution that is both dignified and sustainable. We must also be vigilant against external influences. There are those who may seek to hijack our legitimate concerns for political theater or personal gain. We will not allow the pain of our heroes' past to become pawns in another man's agenda. To our retired officers, I make this solemn appeal. Hold the line. Your voices have been heard, your sacrifices are acknowledged, and your welfare remains at the forefront of our institutional agenda. Let us give room for the ongoing efforts to materialize into lasting solutions. The path we have chosen is not the easiest, but it is the surest path to justice, dignity, and long overdue reform. I encourage you all strategic commanders to engage both serving and retired officers in your jurisdiction to sensitize them on the ongoing effort of the force leadership in advocating for their welfare. Let them know that we are with them and the government is not neglecting them. Their welfare remains a paramount concern of this administration. To further boost morale among serving officers, I am proud to announce a new welfare incentive. Any officer who wins the IGP's award for exceptional professionalism twice consecutively will now be eligible, will be considered for accelerated promotion. This is not just a reward, it's a call to excellence, creativity, and patriotism. We are building a culture where excellence is not just applauded, but advanced. The goal is clear. A motivated force is an effective force. Let us also recognize that while past efforts are commendable, they are not enough. Crime does not rest. Criminals do not pause. Our strategy must reflect that urgency. It must be proactive, data-driven, and seamlessly coordinated across commands and zones. We are already acting on this front. The force management team is expediting the distribution of resources, enhancing command coordination, and reinforcing collaboration with federal and community stakeholders. Our systems of internal supervision have also been strengthened to demand discipline and ensure operational efficiency. Leadership at your level is not a title, it's a daily performance. The example you set, the standards you enforce, and the culture you instill ripple throughout the entire force. I urge you, remain uncompromising in your pursuit of integrity, innovation, and accountability. To our fellow Nigerians, I offer this assurance. Your police force remains resolute in its commitment to justice, safety, and national unity. We will not be deterred, we will not be distracted, and by God's grace, we will not fail. Let us be remembered, not just for what we fought against, but for what we stood for. Trust restored, confidence earned, and a force transformed. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. May the Almighty God continue to guide us as we uphold the honor and integrity of this noble profession. God bless the Nigerian Police Force and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Wow, we can join the hands together for the IGP once again.